I'm back! Hey guys, what's up and welcome back. It's Katie, and if you're new here, hello, how are you? Super glad you decided to come join me. So for today's video, you guys, I'm going to be talking about my top 5 high-end eyeshadow palette picks for a Valentine's Day look or a Galentine's Day, whatever suits your fancy. So if you want to know the palettes I picked and what my thoughts are on all of them, then keep watching. Okay, you guys, crazy that we are talking about Valentine's Day. January was like the longest and shortest month, it felt like. Anyone else feel that way? Yes, hello. Okay guys, so like I said, we're going to be talking about eyeshadow palettes for a Valentine's Day look. All of these palettes have a pink shade range, or they're more in the neutral family because not everyone wants a pink eyeshadow look for Valentine's Day, so I did a little bit of both. So to get started, my number 5 pick, of course, I don't think anyone's surprised, it's the Urban Decay Naked 3 palette. This palette, of course, is very neutral, but also keeping the rosy tones in mind. It gives you a beautiful pink look that you can wear for the office, or you can take it day to night and transition it into your date night or a girl's dinner. I will say, out of all the palettes I'm listing, this is probably my least favorite formula. And I want to throw a caveat in here that all of these palettes, the formulas are great. I will touch on all of them a little bit, but don't think I'm recommending you crap, because that's not the case. Anyways, so the formula on this is not really my favorite. They are velvety, smooth to the touch, and there is minimal fallout. However, I think the mattes are beautiful, and I prefer those for Urban Decay compared to their shimmers. I just feel like when you swatch the shimmers, they look beautiful, but on the eyes, there's not a ton of payoff unless you use a wet brush or something along those lines. So you can still get a beautiful look. That is what I'm wearing on my eyes today. I'll zoom you guys in so you can see a little bit more. I haven't used it in a while, and you know, honestly, I think it's a beautiful palette, but like I said, the formula just is not my favorite out of all of the ones I'm recommending to you. Okay guys, going into my number 4 pick. Again, this is cult favorite. I feel like everyone has this in their collection, and if you don't, go get it. It is the Anastasia, however, Beverly Hills ABH. Basically, it's the Modern Renaissance palette. You can see mine is very well loved. Okay, so here's the palette. I know everyone has seen it, but it's definitely a more neutral palette with a couple splashes of berries. You can see that there are definitely some shades in here that are very well loved from me. I've hit pan on 4 that I can see, almost 5. So these 2 shades, Tempera and Raw Sienna, love them. Vermeer Beyond Fresco, and this one right here, Primavera. I'm basically hit pan. I just basically have to rub my finger over it and you will see the pan. Absolutely love this palette for every day, but I also think it's perfect for a Valentine's look because you can get a very soft, sexy look. But if you want to throw in those pops of pink, you definitely can. You have some berries, some reds, Beyond Fresco, I don't know how you pronounce that, sorry. That's a beautiful mauve tone to use on your crease. So it is a very beautiful palette. In regards to the formula, the reason this is sitting in number 4 for me is they are a little powdery, and you do get a lot of kick up in the pans. So you definitely have to make sure you tap your brush before using it to avoid fallout. However, that said, because they are a little more loosely packed in here, that's the reason you get so much kick up. Because it's more loosely packed, it does allow for very easy blending in regards to the mattes, and the shimmers, you guys, are just absolutely stunning. I absolutely love this palette. I will say for the longest time I was on the fence about it, and I got it for Christmas one year, and Still didn't use it for the longest time, started using it, and you can see I was obsessed. So highly, highly recommend this one if you've been thinking about it and you've been on the fence. Definitely take the leap and see how you feel about it, especially like if you have other palettes of hers. The formula, as you know, it's good. If you've been on the fence about it, I would definitely check it out. Okay guys, picks 3 and 2 and 3. They are by the same brand, which I tried to avoid doing, but I just really couldn't help myself because these palettes are absolutely stunning. They are by Huda Beauty. I have the new nude palette and the Mercury retrograde palette. These palettes are so beautiful for Valentine's Day. The new nude palette, again, more of a neutral color story, but you get these beautiful mauve-y, pinks, purpley tones. Very beautiful. Again, works well for daytime or nighttime. I find this is one of those palettes when I wear it, a lot of people compliment me on it. So I really love this one. I'm probably going to pull this one out myself and put her in my everyday drawer to get some more use out of her. Really, really lovely palette though, especially if you're looking for that pink look. And then the Mercury retrograde palette, she's a little newer in my collection, I'll be honest. I did get her for Christmas this year. I threw her in here because, again, she's a neutral color story, but there are a couple pops of color in here. So if you are a little bit more of a colorful person, you have those pops in here, but you can see there's great neutrals, there's great pinks and mauve tones. And the formula of Huda Beauty is really beautiful. The pans are a little more hardly pressed, which is why you don't get a ton of kick up in the pan. And the metallics are a very buttery gel-like formula. However, I will say, because they are hard pressed, the mattes are a tiny bit harder to blend. In my opinion, they're not hard to work with. It just takes a couple extra seconds to really blend them out and get them where you want. So again, completely your preference on which formula you like the best. I don't mind taking a couple extra seconds because her palettes are stunning in the way that they have mattes, they have satins, they have metallics, they have beautiful like marbled shades, they have dual chromes. There's just a lot of variety in her palettes, which I appreciate compared to some of the other brands that just give you metallics and mattes. No offense to the other brands, but there's just a little more variety, a little more fun. So this palette especially is usually on sale. I don't know if that means they're getting rid of it, but usually it's around 50% off. So rather than 60 bucks, you can get it for 30. So if you've never tried Huda Beauty and you want to, and you like the neutral and a little bit of color, this might be a great option for you to dip your toe in her eyeshadows. My heat just kicked on. If you hear it, I do apologize. As you can see, new background, we're in a new house, you guys, so I'm still kind of playing with the setup. Obviously the background's very boring, playing with that too, so stick with me, we'll make it pretty. Alright guys, the number one palette I have picked out, it is a neutral palette. There's not really any rosy tones in it. So if you were looking for the rosy tone palettes, I have already called them out. However, if you are looking for a new neutral palette that isn't in your collection, I could not recommend this little stinker enough. It is the Tarte in Bloom palette. I have had this palette for years, and you can see, sorry for the gold, but there we go. It is a very neutral color story, but you guys, I just love this palette. I have traveled with this palette multiple times, and it just gives you such a beautiful look. Again, great palette where there's some light shades if you want a lighter look for daytime, for the office. And then you have these beautiful darks right here to kind of smoke it up a little bit, give you a little bit of a sexy look for a date or going out to dinner. And again, whenever I wear this palette, I get compliments out the wazoo. This shade right here, Firecracker, I especially love her. She is just so, so pretty. Always get compliments when I wear this. And in regards to the formula, I feel like a lot of people are hit and miss with Tarte. My opinion, the Tartelette one, which is all mattes, I really, really didn't like. I think they must have reformulated when they came out with this little one here. But I'm sure we all know the shadow is infused with Amazonian clay. That's kind of Tarte's thing. A lot of their products have that in it. And it gives the shadows a very soft, velvety feel without getting the chalkiness sometimes that shadows might have. I feel like a lot of high-end brands have kind of gotten rid of that texture, but that's kind of Tarte's spiel of what their formula consists of. I really like their formula. I find it easy to work with. The metallics are always super, super metallic. The mattes are easy to blend for me. But again, some people are kind of hit and miss. You know, it's all about preference, as is everything in life. So it really just depends on what you want. And I will say, if you do like the Tarte formula, they do have the new Tartelette palette. I think it's the Tartelette Juicy palette, I think, that would be a phenomenal rosy tone palette for Valentine's Day if that's what you're looking for. I personally do not own that just because I do have a lot of palettes that are more in that rosy toned area. But you guys, I love this palette so much. She had to get #1 spot for me, and it's the perfect palette for just an easy neutral eye and then a red lip. Beautiful. Or a neutral lip, whatever you want to do. But honestly, if I lost this palette, I would go repurchase it. That is how much I love it. So, to each your own, but that's what I gotta say about it. Okay guys, so those are my top 5 high-end eyeshadow palette picks. All of these palettes are still available. Nothing has been discontinued. So I made sure of that before talking about any of this so that if you want to go buy it, it is out there. It is available for you. Usually, Ulta and Sephora usually carry these brands, except for Huda. I think that's just at Sephora. But, and of course you can buy it from the brand's website, whatever you decide to do. But yeah, that's all I have to say. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you made it with me this long, I really appreciate you guys. If you did enjoy this video, please give it a little thumbs up. That lets me know what you guys love and want to continue to see from me. It really helps me out. And you guys, I just really, really appreciate you. I know I haven't been here for a few months, and if you're still watching these videos with me, I just really appreciate you more than you know. So, as always, here is your salesman pitch. If you haven't already, please go ahead and hit that little subscribe button. You can become part of my Jonesy fam here on YouTube. I'm just your basic beauty addict. We talk about all things luxury, high-end, and drugstore. We don't discriminate. We love it all. We'll talk about it all. So if that sounds like your jam, then join the fam. Okay guys, that was everything I had. I will see you in my next one. Bye.